So, how is everyone? I hope you're all well. You beautiful, beautiful people. It's Sunday afternoon, and I'm trying not to get any more burnt than I have been. I'm quite burnt. Anyway, look, I did a video earlier today regarding the audio that was floating around regarding the Idaho 4 case. And I want to put some things to rest. And I suppose explain some thoughts and feelings and why I think it's very important that people are very, very careful what they do. So look, let's get straight into it. First of all, let me just say, thou shalt not kill. I don't think that this guy had any intention whatsoever of doing anything negative, nefarious at all. At all. Now, my thoughts and feelings are this audio that was played on this channel is faked audio. Now, some people, and this is my fault, and for that I apologise, felt that what I'd shown in the other video was me saying that that was the exact audio that he used, and it had been manipulated potentially by him or by someone. Look, and what I'm saying is, my stance is this audio situation has happened once before. Audio was used from another situation and it was manipulated in order to make it relevant to the Idaho 4 case, and then it was put onto the platform and it had irreparable damage. Every time something goes out onto the platform that could be perceived as factual, it does irreparable damage. And that's why we very often call out the likes of News Nation, the likes of Dateline, the likes of Nancy Grace, because these people have a lot of clout in terms of how many people trust what they put out onto the platform. And even though this specific channel is quite small, this person whose channel this is represents someone who has boots on the ground. And that makes him very, very powerful in terms of what information he could get out there. And it opens him up to potential dangers. Because look, if we want to believe that there is something else going on in this area, there are people in this area who were potentially involved. It weren't just as simple as Brian Koberger did something and this is all history, and it's not quite that simple, and there will be people who know things that they don't want to get out. They will want to keep things silent. So that's one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is, look, people can speculate. You're never going to ever stop people speculating. Not at all. You're not going to do it. You know, even families of victims and people on the peripheral will understand that people are likely going to speculate. And that's, even though it's probably an annoyance to them and can upset them at times, they appreciate that it exists. But when something goes out onto a platform that, again, could very likely be perceived as factual, things are very different. Now, this recording that we're hearing depicts, apparently, the actual moment in which this attack took place, these attacks. And furthermore, it goes on to specifically name people within this recording. So you're going from speculation to actually providing factual or apparent factual evidence of specific people being involved in this crime. The likes of Brent Kopacker, for instance, his name is supposedly stated within this recorder. Now, some people will argue you can't hear it and it's got subtitles over the top, which when you play a recording and you have words over the top, very often it can lead you to, because your brain operates as a recognition system, when you see something and hearing something at the same time, your brain will seek out to make those things make sense together. So it will hunt for something and it will make it work. What I'm saying is, if that recording was played with absolutely no context to it whatsoever, nobody even knew it was anything to do with the Idaho 4 case, and you just heard it, you wouldn't have heard what you would have done had you have not watched it while reading the subtitles and knowing what it was supposedly depicting. But look, could you imagine now we have a situation where we've speculated on Brent Kopacker, but now all of a sudden there is a recording that comes onto the platform that seemingly depicts, in the thralls of an attack that sees the loss of life of 4 young students during this interaction, altercation, attack. One of them supposedly calls out Brent Kopacker. What impact do you think that now has? Where you've gone from speculation to flat out saying, I have proof that he was involved. Does it belong on this platform, even if that was the case? Or does it belong somewhere else? Does it belong to be handed off to someone else? And look, I knew as soon as I'd done that video I would catch some flack, and I accept it. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm calling that recording out as fake, and that is doing some people a favour by doing so, because we've seen it before. The video that I did earlier, it depicts a situation in which an audio was indeed fake. It was faked. And it shows, and if you go over to, I think I said before, go over to Ickard Mel, I believe it was on the 10th of December, Ickard Mel done a video which goes over the original Joseph Morris faked audio and depicts exactly how these audios can be faked, where he was using the one that I showed in the other video, and he shows the outcome of it. And for those of you who have been round this case, and you will remember that audio, and my intention was to say, look, this is the original audio, and a lot of you will know exactly how that audio then ended up. And that's what I'm calling out on this audio. I'm saying that this audio that we're seeing doing the rounds started off its life somehow very, very differently, and it has been manipulated and played with in order to make it relevant, to make it shocking, and to do its job. But the concerning thing to me, on top of everything else, is someone with a channel that could potentially be boots on the ground and find some truths, and could be very, very dangerous in terms of if there is anyone trying to cover things up and hide things up. It makes him a target for those looking to further hide the truth. So I just feel that people, that's why I don't have anybody on my channel. I don't have people come on here. People will remember right at the beginning of this situation when we was talking about Xana's mum, and I was offered an interview with Xana's mum, and I turned it down because I don't want people on this channel that could potentially have the power to change people's perception to further hide what really happened. Because there are people now who are hell-bent on believing that this audio is absolutely genuine. Absolutely genuine. And my attempt to say, look, it's not genuine. And how do I know? Because I have fucking common sense. I know that there is not an audio floating around on YouTube that will depict the point with which these young people lost their lives, and during that situation actually say the names Brent Kopacker or Brian Koberger and give an orgy of evidence in audio format. And I would say if that's completely genuine, then a ring camera, they are triggered on movement. And then they record, film and audio for a period of time, and then they shut down. I'd want to see the entire file that came from that camera, the image and the audio, and played through. But if I was the person who had been given that, and I was given the entire file with the image and told this is where I live, and this is my ring camera, and this is how you see, this is where this is pointing. So you actually get the footage from the person who owns it, and it turns out that it does indeed depict what we're trying to believe it does, give it to law enforcement. And tell law enforcement that they have a period of time to deal with it, and if they don't, you'll go to mainstream media and push it out fully. Because channels like News Nation, if this recording did truly exist, even they would have a field day with it. Even they would have a field day with it, could you imagine? And look at the damage that could be done then. But anyway, we just need to be careful. It takes a long time to build trust. It takes a huge amount of time to build trust so people trust what you're saying. And you can lose that in the blink of an eye. And there are people out there who will actively try to stop people from trusting you if you are someone who can potentially affect the want to hide fact. So, and before I go, I had a comment that said that I am worried about other content creators or people going to see other channels. I promote other channels on here more than any other YouTube channel in this niche. 100%. And I challenge anybody to find another channel that promotes other channels as much as what I do. So before you come over here and start talking about the fact that I'm calling other channels out because I'm worried about other people going and viewing them, that is genuinely not the case. I want channels that can be dangerous to people who try to hide the truth to do well, because I want facts to rarely come out. What I don't want is bullshit that is shown as potentially being fact that then has a huge repercussion. Until next time, I'll see you in the next one.